Welcome back to The Silent Story. Today, we are going to explore a tale from an ancient time, a story that holds the ultimate secret to conquering your own mind. Long ago, in a vast and prosperous realm, there lived a king of unmatched power. He was a legendary warrior, a man whose discipline was carved from stone. He was so skilled with a sword and so brilliant in the chaotic art of war that his enemies would tremble in their armor at the mere whisper of his name. Under his iron but just rule, the kingdom thrived. Wealth flowed through the streets and the borders were secure. But behind the grand, towering walls of the royal palace, the mighty king harbored a deep, silent sorrow that kept him awake at night. The lazy prince. His only son, the young crown prince, was the exact opposite of him. While the king was a symbol of relentless hard work, the young prince was a prisoner of his own laziness. He cared absolutely nothing for the heavy weight of the crown or the future of his people. The prince's days were entirely consumed by instant, hollow pleasures. He would sleep on silk sheets until the sun was high in the afternoon sky. His meals were endless feasts of rich, heavy foods. When he finally rose, he spent his hours lounging on velvet cushions, demanding to be entertained by musicians, jugglers, and dancers. He was stubborn, entitled, and weak. The king would watch his son from the palace balcony, a heavy sigh escaping his chest. Who will protect this kingdom when I am gone, he thought. An empire built by wolves cannot be ruled by a sleeping sheep. The failed masters and the punishment. Desperate to save his son's future, the king summoned the greatest warriors, scholars, and discipline masters from across the known world. He commanded them, train my son, break his laziness, make him a warrior worthy of this ancient throne. But every single master failed. They brought wooden swords, they brought books of strategy, but they could not reach the boy. Even when the prince was physically dragged to the dusty training grounds, his body was present, but his mind was miles away. He would drop the sword, yawn, and walk away. Losing his patience, the king finally snapped. He took a drastic, heartbreaking measure. He ordered his royal guards to lock the great halls. He stripped the prince of all his luxuries. No more dancers, no more feasts. No more sleeping until noon, the king decreed. The prince was furious. Stripped of his dopamine and his comforts, he grew bitter and silent. He locked himself in a bare room, viewing his own father and everyone around him as his sworn enemies. The palace grew cold and tense. The arrival of the saint warrior. One quiet evening, the king's oldest and most trusted minister approached the throne. "My king," he whispered, "there is one man left, a legendary saint warrior who lives in the high mountains. He is a master not just of the blade, but of the human mind. Whoever he trains becomes a master of their own destiny." The king immediately sent his fastest riders to invite the saint with the utmost respect. When the saint warrior arrived, he did not wear heavy armor. He wore simple robes, carrying only a wooden staff and a peaceful, unbreakable smile. The king begged for his help. The saint agreed, but raised one finger. "I will take this burden, my king, but on one strict condition. For 6 entire months, the prince is mine. He must follow my orders, and you must not interfere, even if you hate what you see." The king, having no other choice, agreed. Terrific deal. When the saint warrior finally walked into the prince's bare room, the young boy exploded in anger. "Get out, I don't want to learn anything. Why do you people keep bothering me? Leave me alone." The saint remained completely calm. He did not yell, he did not lecture. He simply smiled, a gentle, knowing smile, and asked quietly, "Who said I came here to teach you anything?" The prince froze. He looked at the old man in shock. The saint stepped closer and lowered his voice. "You are not a bad person, young prince. The king was wrong to take away your comforts so suddenly. Let us make a secret deal just between you and me. Tomorrow morning, come to the courtyard and just pretend to practice with me. Swing the sword a few times, make it look good. When the king sees you trying, he will be so thrilled that he will immediately return all your luxuries." The prince's eyes lit up. This was the easiest trick in the world, he eagerly agreed. The transformation. The next morning, the prince stepped onto the training ground. He lazily picked up a wooden training sword and swung it around, making sure the king could see him from the balcony. Just as the saint predicted, the king was overjoyed to see his son finally holding a weapon. Instantly, the king ordered the guards to restore the prince's royal comforts. The feast returned, the soft bed returned. For the first few weeks, it was all a game. The prince would do 10 minutes of fake, lazy training, then run right back to his dancers and his food. But then, something magical began to happen in the background. The daily physical movement, even though it was faked, started to awaken something dormant inside the young man's biology. The fresh morning air filled his lungs. The weight of the wooden sword built small muscles in his arms. He started feeling stronger. His posture straightened. Slowly, the fake swings became real strikes. He actually began to enjoy the surge of power in his body. He started staying on the training ground for an hour, then 2 hours. The act had completely dissolved, replaced by a burning, genuine passion. The climax months later, the 6-month agreement was up. The king and the entire royal court gathered in the grand arena to watch the prince. When the young man stepped out, he was unrecognizable. He was no longer a lazy, soft boy. He stood tall, his eyes sharp and focused. When he drew his sword, he moved like lightning. He wielded the blade with such breathtaking grace, speed, and explosive power that the entire court stood up, clapping and cheering loudly. Breathing heavily, sweat dripping from his brow, the prince walked over to the saint warrior and bowed deeply. "Master," the prince said, his voice echoing with a new, unbreakable purpose, "I want to become the greatest warrior this world has ever seen. I promise you I will train as hard as you demand, and I will never return to the weak habits of my past." The deep psychological lesson now. Listen closely. Here's the greatest twist of this tale. In this story, the great king is you. You are the one who wants a better life, a stronger body, and a successful future. And that spoiled, lazy prince, that is your mind. Your mind constantly craves comfort. It does not want to work. It seeks instant gratification, endless scrolling on your phone, cheap entertainment, and easy dopamine. Psychologists and neuroscientists have proven time and again that the human brain is not driven by pressure. It is driven by rewards. Your brain does not care about the grand success you want 5 years from now. It only cares about the quick pleasure it can get today. This is exactly why 95% of people fail to achieve their big dreams. Huge goals take months or years of silent, painful grinding, and they offer no instant reward. So what is the secret of the Saint Warrior? How do you trick your own mind into extreme discipline? No matter how massive your goal is, you must break it down into tiny, ridiculously easy steps. And every time you complete one of those small steps, give your mind a small reward. Don't fight your brain, hack it. Start by just showing up. Do the bare minimum for 5 minutes. Reward yourself. When your mind starts associating hard work with feeling good, the internal war is over. It will stop fighting you. It will begin to fall in love with the grind. Outro, break the cycle. Train the prince inside your head. Thank you for watching The Silent Story. If this lesson awakened something within you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. I am the master of my mind. Until next time, stay disciplined and stay silent in your daily grind.